Oh, hey there guys, Ibaraki Ben here. Yeah, second update on this. My baby is born. She came out yesterday. Her birthday is on February 9th. Look, few hiccups with the birth sort of thing. I was very worried at the time because when I spoke to one of the nurses, they said the birth would only take like 2 hours because it was cesarean. My wife was unable to do like the standard sort of vaginal birth, so they said that they're going to have to do a cesarean if she's not ready by this day. So the day before they gave her like some, I was going to say drugs, but like hormones to try and promote labour to start, but she got like a few contractions here and there, but it wasn't enough. The baby wasn't ready, so she's a bit lazy, so a bit like me. So they ended up that they said, okay, the next day came and they said, okay, we're going to do the cesarean today. So I'm very paranoid when it comes to surgery and things. When it's myself, I don't care so much because it's just me. But when it's like my wife and my child sort of thing, it's very worrying and very stressful. So I basically asked the nurse how long it would take, and she said like up to 2 hours. She said it's usually like around half an hour to 1 hour to get the baby out between the first cut sort of thing, and then after that it's pretty much the baby will come out and they'll weigh her and like clean her out her airways and give her a dab down sort of thing, and then after that they would then sew up my wife sort of thing, and then no problem from there. However, it got to 2 hours and I still didn't hear like any screams, because the room that my wife is in basically like you got the room, then you got the nurses station, and then it's the operating theatre, because it's not like I'm in a huge hospital. We're in a local sort of small private hospital, so the rooms are very nice and the service is very good sort of thing. But obviously with me there's the language barrier, because being in Japan, it's a bit scary sort of thing. I don't understand everything they're saying because they're using medical vocabulary that I haven't studied and basically just don't know. If they spoke in general daily stuff, then no problem. General conversation, no problem. But they're using words I've never heard of. So it got to 2 hours, I still hadn't heard the baby cry or anything. It was very quiet in the room. So one of the nurses I discovered speaks some English, so I said to her, what's happening? And she said, oh, hold on, I'll find out. So she buggered off and she was gone about 10 minutes, and she came back and she said, oh, they've had like a small issue, so they're just like getting the issue resolved and then they'll continue. And of course for me, a small issue for me is a huge issue, so naturally I panicked and I started like freaking out over it, thinking the worst, like, oh god, they've done something and she's gonna die, or like my daughter's gonna be hurt or disabled, or she's gonna suffocate or stillborn or something like that. And I was freaking out that I was gonna lose someone. And then after about 2.5 hours, I suddenly heard the baby cry. And I thought, thank God for that, she's okay. And I had to wait another hour, because, they said that, like 15-20 minutes after they've got the baby out, they'll bring her in to me. But an hour passed, and they still hadn't brought her in, and I was starting to really panic at this point. I think, what the hell is going on? So eventually they brought the baby in, and I saw her very briefly, because they said, oh, we're going to take her back because like she's very restless and we want to just keep an eye on her, like monitor her heart rate and stuff like that, and check she's extra healthy. So I said okay, so they brought her back, and I'm still waiting and waiting and waiting, and I thought it's getting close to like 4 hours that she's been in surgery, and I thought something's gone wrong, and they're trying to fix it. And of course my mind is just going crazy at this point. I was starting to freak out. So I kept asking like the staff, what's happening? They're just saying, I don't know, just please wait. They're trying to reassure me, like, the doctor's very, very good, he is very good. He doesn't rush things, he takes his time. He only does like one of these a day sort of thing. He's not like in a hospital where they do quite a few of them. So of course for me worrying, that was no reassurance at all. It didn't hit the spot at all really. So I carried on panicking, and eventually, like the English speaking nurse came in and said, oh, could we ask you to leave the room please, we're going to bring your wife in. And I thought, oh, thank God for that. So, you know, I know she's okay. Because if anything bad had happened, they wouldn't have brought her in. They would have taken her, you know, to the intensive care. They brought her in, and I asked her, you know, how are you? Are you okay? And she said, oh, I'm okay, but there was a problem. I was like, oh shit, you know, what's happened? So the nurses like moved her onto the, like, you know, from the gurney onto her own bed. And then they sort of like checked her over, sort of thing. And that took about 15-20 minutes. And then they said, oh, okay, you can go in now. So I went in and asked her, you know, what the hell happened, what's going on, sort of thing. And she said, you know, they hit like one of the most important veins in my stomach. She said, apparently he didn't know it was going to be there. Usually they're more to the side. He cut through it, and she bled like 2 liters, which is like almost half of her blood supply was gone. But so fortunately she was okay. They managed to fix the problem, sort of thing. They repaired the vein, and everything went fine. So you know, that's all great. But obviously I was still very worried. So like, even after I like spent some time with her, and I got there at like what, 12:30. And I stayed until about 8 PM in the evening. So even then, when I left, I wasn't confident, because like I thought, you know, oh, something could happen, the vein could rupture, and she might, you know, something serious could happen overnight. You know, tonight's the crucial night. But no, all was fine. I went back like today after work, and I messaged her periodically throughout the day because I was quite busy at work. And yeah, she's fine. She was up and walking around today, and you know, she started breastfeeding the baby today. So you know, baby's happy, not having to have that, you know, horrible artificial milk. But yeah, so anyway, the baby, she's not in the video because they both have to stay in hospital for like 7 days. So you know, everything happened yesterday, so maybe Thursday next week they can come home. However, I am going to take my video camera, not this one because this is my webcam, but I'm going to take the video camera with me tomorrow, and I'm going to video her a bit and me holding her, sort of thing. And I'll do my next sort of vlog from there. Don't know when I'll be able to get it online, but I'm hoping, you know, I've got the weekend off, I'm on my own, you know, home alone, a bit lonely, so I've got some free time. But yeah, so I've got a picture, so I'm going to hold my phone up, and if the quality doesn't come out okay, then I'm just going to, you know, magically put the picture on the screen. But this is that way. This is my daughter. So her name is Kyla, and she has a middle name. You know, Japanese people usually don't have a middle name, but her middle name is Carol. Carol is my mother's name. For the people that don't know, my mother died in 2007, and she was the closest person in my whole life. She was, you know, pretty much the most important person in my life. So when she died, I was very depressed afterwards, and me and my wife talked about, like, you know, moving on from it. And my wife suggested, you know, my wife was very close with my mum as well, so she said, I know, we're going to honour your mum's memory by, if we have a daughter, we're going to use her name as our daughter's middle name. So yeah, so we got Kyla Carol Merritt. So she's adorable. She's a bit fat because, I mean, I'm foreign, so I'm bigger than most Asian people. When I was born, I was about like 4.1 kilos, which is about like 9 pounds. She was born 9 pounds as well, so she was born at basically 4 kilos and 9 grams. So she's a big mama, and she's tall as well. Most Asian babies are born at about 50 centimeters, which is about like 1 foot 7.5, something like that. But Kyla was, you know, she was 54, so she's a bit bigger. they said, oh, she's very big and she's quite chubby, she's got a good amount of fat on her, sort of thing, and they think she's really strong. So when the surgeon came in afterwards, he said, you know, we're glad that we did the cesarean before we tried the, like, you know, the usual vaginal delivery, because they said she wouldn't have fitted. Your pelvis is too small and her shoulders are too big. She wouldn't have got through, sort of thing. We would have had to have done cesarean anyway. So that was a bit of a relief, you know, because otherwise, you know, if, like, you know, you're in labour for hours and hours and hours, and eventually they just say, sod it, epidural, let's cut her open. It's like you suffered for nothing, sort of thing, you know, they would have done it anyway. So that was a benefit. She didn't have a long labour or anything like that, just straight on with it. And she was awake for the whole procedure, didn't feel a damn thing, so she's quite lucky, really. But yeah, so I finished work today at 6 o'clock, and I came back from Tokyo, and I got to the hospital at 7. And luckily you can stay until 8, but the nurses were kind to me and they let me stay until 8:30. And then they started sort of like saying, okay, you do have to go now. We did, you know, we stopped allowing visitors at 8 o'clock, so, you know, kindly, you know, fuck off, sort of thing. So I stayed for about an hour, just cuddling her, kissing her soft little cheeks, stroking her hair, because she's got a shitload of hair. I've got a picture of her hair, because usually Asian babies are born like on their head there's not so much hair, but where are we? See if I can find a picture of her. So yeah, so she's asleep here, but like you can see in this picture, she's got quite a good head of hair on her. So this is when I was holding her. They have like a nursing pillow, so I sat her on the pillow. So there we go, we got mother-in-law holding her. So she's opened her eyes a bit. I don't know how good her eyesight is at the moment. I know baby's eyesight is pretty bad. So yeah, she kind of, like, you know, her eyes are closed and she squints a bit, and if I have the lights dim enough she opens them a bit bigger, and then after that her eyes are just looking around sort of crazy kind of thing, because she can't focus on anything, because, you know, from what I read, baby's eyesight, you know, they can only see like maybe 2 feet away, and after that everything's just a blurry mess. So she responded well. She was looking me right in the face, because my face was pretty close to her the entire time. So I'm talking to her, stroking her hair, and, you know, I kept kissing her on the cheeks, because she's got a really soft, like, I don't want to say fluffy, but, you know, she feels velvety. I can't. You know, other parents will probably know what I mean, but baby skin is very different and it's addictive. So it was kissing her little cheeks and nibbling her little forehead, sort of thing, and stroking her hair. So yeah, hair's like this long. I was kind of surprised. I thought like, baby's hair from when you see pictures is like almost bald. I don't know if it'll fall out or whatever, because she's got like some hairs on her back and she's got quite a lot of forehead hair. But I know when I was a baby I had a shitload of back hair, chest, bit of chest hair, loads on my forehead, and like it came down to about here, sort of thing, but then it fell out like a month later, so I assume those should be the same. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, my Litlin's going to be coming home next week. I can't wait. I'm going to go to hospital tomorrow and video her a bit. So I mean, obviously for people who don't have kids, it's not going to be a very eventful video for you, because it's just going to be me sitting there holding her, talking to her, and giving her a cuddle and a kiss, sort of thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. I can only spend like, I don't know, from 2 until 8, only 6 hours there. So it's a bit depressing, but she comes home next week and then I can spend all evening with her, so I'll be happy about that. But yeah, so I'm happy. My daughter is born. She's healthy, she's strong, she's big, my wife's okay. I'm just waiting for him to come home. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to end this here. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.